Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am about to share with you all a very shocking and sad report on the amount of plastic that's in people's lungs and is actually killing them. They are saying microplasms are found deep in lungs of living people for the first time. Droplets and specks and small pieces of plastic in the lungs. Now, the report I'm going to share with you, I'm not shocked by it because the world has just been flooded with plastic, and it continues to be flooded with plastic, right? You can't get rid of this stuff. They are using it in just about everything, right? And so I am not shocked by this, but I am deeply saddened by it because this report is actually going to show how this has affected people's health. And we already know that it will continue to do that. So anyway, take a listen at this deeply troubling report, and I will be right back.
Microplastic pollution has been discovered lodged deep in the lungs of living people for the first time. The particles were found in almost all the samples analyzed. The scientists said microplastic pollution was now ubiquitous across the planet, making human exposure unavoidable and meaning there is an increasing concern regarding the hazards to health. Samples were taken from tissue removed from 13 patients undergoing surgery, and microplastics were found in 11 cases. The most common particles were polypropylene, used in plastic packaging and pipes, and PET, used in bottles. Two previous studies had found microplastics at similarly high rates in lung tissue taken during autopsies. People were already known to breathe in the tiny particles, as well as consuming them via food and water. Workers exposed to high levels of microplastics are also known to have developed disease. Microplastics were detected in human blood for the first time in March, showing the particles can travel around the body and may lodge in organs. The impact on health is as yet unknown. But researchers are concerned as microplastics cause damage to human cells in the laboratory, and air pollution particles are already known to enter the body and cause millions of early deaths a year. We did not expect to find the highest number of particles in the lower regions of the lungs, or particles of the sizes we found, said Laura Sadowski at Hull York Medical School in the UK, a senior author of the study. It is surprising as the airways are smaller in the lower parts of the lungs, and we would have expected particles of these sizes to be filtered out or trapped before getting this deep. This data provides an important advance in the field of air pollution, microplastics, and human health, she said. The information could be used to create realistic conditions for laboratory experiments to determine health impacts. The research, which has been accepted for publication by the journal Science of the Total Environment, used samples of healthy lung tissue from next to the surgery targets. It analyzed particles down to 0.003 millimeters in size and used spectroscopy to identify the type of plastic. It also used control samples to account for the level of background contamination. A 2021 study in Brazil on autopsy samples found microplastics in 13 of the 20 people analyzed, whose average age was higher than those assessed by Sadowski's study. Polyethylene, used in plastic bags, was one of the most common particles. The researchers concluded, deleterious health outcomes may be related to these contaminants in the respiratory system following inhalation. A U.S. study of lung cancer patients in 1998 found plastic and plant fibers, such as cotton, in more than 100 samples. In cancerous tissue, 97% of samples contained the fibers, and in non-cancerous samples, 83% were contaminated. Huge amounts of plastic waste are dumped in the environment, and microplastics contaminate the entire planet, from the summit of Mount Everest to the deepest oceans. Microplastics have been found in the placentas of pregnant women, and in pregnant rats they pass rapidly through the lungs into the hearts, brains, and other organs of the fetuses. A recent review assessed cancer risk and concluded, more detailed research on how micro and nanoplastics affect the structures and processes of the human body, and whether and how they can transform cells and induce carcinogenesis, is urgently needed, particularly in light of the exponential increase in plastic production.
Man, that report was deeply troubling. It was deeply troubling because this is something we didn't ask for, but it's here. and it was literally forced on us. Now, I say forced because we do have choices, but it's like everywhere you look, there's plastic. You go to the grocery store, not only do they bag your groceries in plastic, but they also package your food. They package your drinks. I mean, everywhere we look, there is plastic. I'm talking to y'all through some plastic right now. This microphone, plastic. You see, this computer, plastic. I'm looking around this room and I see plastic everywhere. You see, so they've literally forced it on you. I have a container of hand sanitizer. Sorry about that. Swoosh, swoosh. Plastic. It's in a plastic container. And so it's not a shocking thing that it's in people's lungs now, but it's very sad because there are health effects that come as a result of this. But guess what? Who you gonna sue? Who you gonna call? Who you gonna tell about this? You see, this is what happens when you follow the science. You know, they tell you something is okay, and then later on you find out that it's not. You see, this is what has happened in this world. We have been taken over by people who make decisions for you, and they despise if you challenge their decisions or if you question their decisions. But later on you find out that their decisions are the very things that is killing off humanity, animals. I mean, look at the fish. They did something similar with the fish, where they were cutting open some of the dead fish that were washing ashore, and they were finding bits and pieces of plastic all in their bodies. So this is a very serious thing, especially when there are serious health effects. You know, when they were talking about when they did examinations on deceased people, and they were finding plastic in a good majority of them, that really bothered me. That is really disturbing. But that is what happens when you have mad scientists out here doing things and trying to say that everything they do is okay, and if you don't like it, too bad. You know, that's what I feel like. I feel like they're saying, look, we're going to do what we're going to do. This is for the bettering of society, and we don't know what the outcome is going to be until later, but by that time we won't be here anymore, so you all deal with it when that time comes. I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I remember those children in Australia. They were actually saying that to the older generation. They were saying, look, you all are tearing the earth up, and by the time you're gone, we're going to be left to deal with the mess that you have created. Those young people, they stood up and they said, look, we ain't liking this, right? And of course, you have the adults who are living their lives and doing their thing, ignoring what these young people were saying. But this is the troubling situation that we find ourselves in, because mankind think they're so smart. They think they are so wise. But how can you be so smart and wise when you are single-handedly responsible for destroying the planet? All right, y'all, I just wanted to share this report with my listening and viewing audience. Keep your comments tight and right in the comment section below. Until next time. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.